let's begin. So my topic this afternoon is Investment 101, and we just want to look at the basic of how we go about investing. So I want to start with a quote, and this is from Robert Kiyosaki, and he says, "It's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for." I believe in the Bible, as all of us online, I'm sure do. And when we're investing, one of the rule of thumb is that we get in good counsel. And the Bible speaks of this, and it says, while we are to put our trust in God, that does not mean that we should not be planning ahead for the future. Saving, investing, and diversifying our holdings. In fact, Proverbs 15 verse 12 tells us, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. So when you are going to look at your future, look at your investments, or you're just about to start out, it is best for you to get the experts to assist you in that. And we look now at what is an investment. A basic rule of thumb for investment is that investment is saving, and then while you're saving, you're earning. But I want to take it a step deeper than that, and to say that investment is to allocate money with the expectation of a positive benefit or return in the future. In other words, to invest means owning an asset, whether a property, a home or so, and that item with the goal of generating income from that item or investment, or the appreciation of that investment, which is an increase in the value of that asset over a period of time. And, I want to pause here for a bit. And, a lot of person will say a motor vehicle is an asset. Sometimes it is an asset if it is working for you and helping you to make money. But if it's not doing that, then it can be considered a liability because it is not helping you to gain income. So a property, whether for rental income or so, is more of an investment, or funds that you have in the bank is more of an investment than, let's say, a car, which can be seen as a liability. I want to look at some investment tips. And one of this is to plan ahead. Plan ahead, we need to plan for future because we're looking at lifestyle. And we're not talking just for now, but for future, because we want to ensure that when we're planning, we are looking at putting something down, which is for now, for rainy day, and even for our children's future. Because one of the mistakes we make is that in time past, a lot of us did not have the opportunity of getting generational wealth from our parents or foreparents. But for us now, we want to make plans so that we can pass something down to our children, give them a start in life. And also, for most of us, when we are looking towards retirement, currently the income we are earning, if we are to look, let's say 10 years, 5 years down the line, that same income may not be able to cover our expense in the future. And therefore, we need to plan ahead. We need to prepare a budget. Look at how much money we are earning. Look at our plans, what we want to put aside, what we want to pay our expenses, and then what we can save from that. The Bible makes it clear that it is wise to work hard, to plan ahead for the future. Don't get caught unaware because you failed to plan. Luke 14, 28 to 30 states, "For which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count the cost to see whether he has enough to finish it. Guys, the Bible is truth, and as Christians, we believe in what the Bible says, and therefore it is wise when we follow instructions. I alluded earlier that it's good to put some money aside. We must always have an emergency fund. It is said that an emergency fund is putting away something for 6 months. It means that if you should be out of a job or you have some shortfall or something, you must have something. And this amount of money is stated to be 6 months of your monthly salary. That 6 months should be put aside as savings or investing account so that if anything should happen, then you can fall back on that. Saving up for rainy day and putting your money to work and multiplying it is a wise thing to do. Proverbs 21 verse 8. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. So we need to ensure that when we are looking into the future, we are supposed to be guided by the scriptures as people of God. Another investment tip is to create multiple streams of income, not just your day-to-day salary, but if you can create multiple streams of income, investing is one of them. Remember, I said in the past that investing is earning while you're saving. So the income from that can earn you, is an earning, and you can use that to offset your day-to-day bills or even to appreciate and grow your wealth as we go on. Later on, I will just brief you on some of the investment policies that we have that can help you or guide you to becoming even wealthy, right? And wealth is not just having money, but it's being able to take care of your needs as they arise. Another investment tip is to pay down debts. What I find since recently, especially since the pandemic, you have a lot of persons because salaries have decreased, and you find that the monthly expenses has gone up because a lot of us are working from home and the children are at home, so the food bill has gone up, light bill has gone up. For some of us, depending on where we live, the air condition is being used, so that is sending up the bills. And there are other things that have actually, even our health bill has gone up. So we find that we may be borrowing to cover some of these bills, or even depending on a credit card. A credit card debt is one of the highest debt that you can have on in your books, even as part of your budget, because the interest rate on a credit card is between 40 and 50%. So if there is a credit card that you have and that debt is high, what I would suggest is that you get a small loan, clear the credit card, and then you pay on that loan, which has a smaller interest. Try to pay down majority of your debts as possible. Next investment tip is to define your goals and priorities. You can define your goals by setting them in short, medium, and long term. In this way, you can tackle them in bite sizes and you're not flustered by it. And when you do that, you find that you're more structured, and then you get to prioritize what needs to be taken care of initially, and then you can move on. Said before, prepare for retirement. Guys, what I find, because I'm in banking for so long, is that at the end of the day is when we are up on retirement or we have retired, that's when we are looking to plan for retirement. We need to start planning from now. We need to look at our expenses, put something aside. If it's even your basic, for those of us who are working, your basic pension, you pay 5%, the company pays 5%. If you see where you can go the full 10%, then go the full 10%, because that reduces the amount of taxes you pay. It's not tax evasion, but it's tax avoidance, and it is not illegal. Once you reduce the amount of taxes you pay, it works out better for you because you have more income in hand to save and to do whatever you have to do, which is to set your priorities and goals in order. If you have questions that you need to ask while I'm doing it, just write them down, and at the end, we can go through them. Thank you so much. And if I'm going too fast, you can let me know so I can slow it down a bit. Now we look at the laws of wealth creation. One of them is to set realistic goals, as I've said before. Look at what it is that you want to achieve, guys. It must be realistic, it must be time-bound, it must be measurable. Time-bound means that you will set a time in which you need to achieve them by, and you need to hold yourself accountable. Another law is to use other people's brain. Use other people's brain, which means like myself. I am an investment advisor. Therefore, you come to me and you ask me for advice on how to get things done and how to grow your money from one stage to the next. We can start as small as you can, and then we develop a strategy or a framework around which we will work, and we get there. So that is how you use other people's brain. There's nothing wrong with that. We need to pay ourselves first. Pay ourselves first. It means that after you have taken out your 1/10 and pay your tithe, we need to pay ourselves. Paying ourselves, a lot of us will say we have to buy ourselves something, probably a pretty dress, a pretty shoes, or a pretty suit. But paying ourselves first is mean setting aside that money that we can put down to start growing our wealth. Corinthians 16 verse 2 states, on the first day of every week, each one of you should set aside a set of money in keeping with your income, saving it up so that when I come, no collections will have to be made. Guys, this is not just biblical, it is also for your personal. Put it aside, save it up so that in the future, when you need it, you can call on it. Take a long-term approach towards investing. A lot of us run the mistake of just saying, you know what, I just want to save something until next year. Remember, we are looking at lifestyle change. We are looking at what we can do in the future. The same money we save today can help us to start a business later, which is also one of our investment tips, which is multiple streams of income. For those of us who have skills, we can use those skills to make money separate and apart from investments. Portfolio consideration. If I am going to invest, if I'm going to save, what should I consider? The first thing is my investment objective. What is it that I want to achieve at the end of this? What is it that I want to achieve in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and down the line? Write down those objectives, and then you put timelines to them. You also need to look at your risk tolerance. Risk tolerance take into consideration your age, the amount of money you have, the assets and liabilities you have, and also the amount of risk you are willing to take on in order to grow your portfolio. The younger you are in life, the more risk you're able to take because you can recover. If you are in the mid-range, then you can balance it. For those of us who are senior and or we call them our golden agers. For those of us who are at that level, then we look at how we can tweak your investments to reduce your risk while growing your portfolio. We need to consider your returns. What is it that you want to gain from your investment in terms of your interest rate? Because that is also a factor to be taken into consideration when we're looking at how much risk you can take on. The higher the returns is the more the risk. So you have to look at that. And I've actually spoken about investment timeline already. Also taxes. If I'm going to invest, where do I want to invest? How do I want to invest? In what do I want to invest? This is to reduce my taxes so that I can have more income or I can have more money on my investment. Look at investment constraints. What's the economic climate like? What is happening? Do I need to move my money from what I am in to something else? Look at my personal constraints. Look at all the expenses I have. Look at liquidity. Look at my time zone and all of those things. Look at what I have available to invest in my country, and if there are other avenues where I can invest outside of my country to ensure that I am achieving the ultimate from whatever money I have that is working for me. Diversifying. That is one of the biggest tools in investing. Ensuring that we have our monies in different portfolios or different asset mix, so that if anything should happen, then we don't find ourselves falling all at once or crashing. None of us knows what will happen from one day to the next in our lives. And in the stock market, the bond or money market, it's no different. As a result, we are best served by diversifying our holdings to protect ourselves. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2 says, invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do know that disaster may come upon the land. Guys, these are not my words. It is the word of God. And if we are wise enough, we will follow and heed the instructions. Now, the importance of building a diversified portfolio. Diversified portfolio can help an investor manage their risk, reduce the volatility in the market, and this is where I'm talking about the different assets, the price that you pay for these assets. And as I said, there are many options to choose from. Money market securities, the stock market, bonds, the alternative investments, and of course, the returns, the risk, and all of that. That makes it even better for you to choose the type of investment you want to go in, depending on 1, the lifestyle that you want to live, 2, the returns that you want to get, 3, the risk that you are willing to take on. Here at NCB Capital Markets, we have a wide variety of products that you can choose from, not just in Jamaica, but even offshore, which can even help you to reduce taxes. And this is where now I will take you into just the basics of some of these investments or securities, as we would call them, just to give you a highlight of what they are, what they do, and how you can partake in them. So one of them is the money market security. Money market securities are often considered a good place to invest your funds. This is funds that are needed for the short time, which is usually 1 year or less. These include certificate of deposit, commercial papers, repurchase agreements, just to name a few, even treasury bills, which is directly from the government. Now, these can be fixed from anywhere from 30 days up to 1 year, and the returns, because it's a low risk investment, the returns are also low. But for those of us who want safe, slow and steady growth, money market securities are the way to go. We have the stock market. Stocks are an investment in a company, and that company's profits, which means that when you have a company that is private, you and I may own a business and we want to take it public, which means that to get other investors in, we sell shares or we sell stocks. The primary reason that investors would want to own a stock is to earn a return on their investment. Now, stocks can be short-term and they can be long-term, but this is one of them, guys, that we would want to have in our long-term agenda for the future. When we say we want to put down things for the future or over the long term, we choose stocks. When the stock price appreciates, you can sell your stocks and you can make a profit. There's also another way of earning from the stock market, and through this, we call it dividend payments. And this is when a company makes profit and they decide to save that, to pay you a portion of that profit. Then you get that as another income. So there are two ways in which you can earn from the stock market. Which one is when you sell your stock higher than the price that you have purchased it at, you make a profit. And also when you buy stocks, it pays a dividend, and that dividend is also another way of earning. Now, as an investor, when you're purchasing stocks, it is good to know the reason why you're buying the stock. Do I want to buy and hold it for a long period? Am I buying this stock for income? Because there are stocks that are classified as income stocks, which means that they pay quarterly dividends. Every quarter, you get a dividend. And one of the beauty about the dividends on the stock market is that you only pay 15% tax on whatever you earn, compared to other investments that will pay 25%. So this is another way of earning and reducing the taxes that you pay. So you get more in your pocket. So you have more to save and to grow your portfolio in the long run. When you get your dividend payments, you can put it down on a regular savings account or even in your investment account. And then when it accumulates to a good amount, you can use that same money to buy additional stocks or do other investments. There's also what we call the bond market. Now, the bond is a fixed income instrument, and it actually represents a loan made by an investor. So let's say Diacoma is a business. Yes, they want to borrow some money. And they will say, you know what, instead of going to the bank and borrowing at a very high rate, let us put a bond out there to raise the funds. And then we will pay back these investors over a 5-year or 10-year period. But what we will do is that every 6 months, we pay them some interest on that bond. And then at maturity, we pay them back their principal in lump sum. That is what a bond is. These can be had whether by a corporate or a government. The corporate would be like a Diacoma or a financial institution or so, or the government, maybe government of Jamaica, government of Bahamas, Barbados. They want to raise these funds, so they come to market. And then now we as the investor buy into these bonds. They hold our principal, they pay us a high return. Most of the times, if it's a bond that is floated in the international space, it is also tax deferred, which means that you get your money in hand and then you file your returns after if you so desire. Some of them, depending on the country they come from, they are also tax-free. Here again, you make more money, so you have more disposable income to pay for more things and also to grow your investment. Guys, it is all about the business of creating wealth for yourself and also for your generation. So we have to look at what is feasible for us, what is in our timeline horizon, what is in our tax bracket, what is in our risk acceptance, and then we make the decisions based on those, and then we move forward. We also have alternative investments, which is a financial asset that does not fall into any one of the regular investment categories. Not a stock, it's not a bond, it's not cash, but it's a private equity or venture capital, which is a managed fund. It could be in art, antiques, commodities, even derivatives that some of you may not know what that is, but real estate and all of those things. So for those of us who wants to go outside of the regular market, and this is where we're thinking diversification, where we want to be in different asset class so that our money can be coming from different income streams, then this is one of those investments that we can partake in. It can be structured. You can buy into it based on the amount that you can afford to buy in, and then you can manage your expectations based on that and make your money from that. We have many different types of investments at NCB Capital Markets. We also have branches in Cayman, Barbados, and Trinidad. And because of those branches, we are able to offer you even things that other financial houses in Jamaica are not able to offer you. And we are also able to offer you investments that are tax-free because of the jurisdiction they are in. One of our biggest things at NCB Capital Markets that we have taken on is our technological advancement. And this is where we have been looking at development of robo-advisors, which has given investments or investors opportunity to consult detailed data, even the platforms that we use to remit funds, to put on our own transactions. So it is actually focusing on providing our customers with around the clock access to their investments. Full clarity and transparency without even having to consult an advisor during work hours and even outside work hours, because you can use this tool to help you to build your portfolio. If there's something that you need, we have the avenues that you can go to even an analysis on something that you want to do. You want to buy a stock, we have the analysis on that stock. You don't even have to call an advisor. It's just by the click of a button, you can go into that particular tool, look at what you need, and if there's something that you don't understand, we take it from there. We are very forward thinking and we are going forward. Now, for those of us who would want to do business with NCB Capital Markets, or even those of us who have been doing business with us, there's a benefit of our online platform. Purchase and sell shares in real time, purchase your unit trust and other holdings, actively monitor and manage your portfolio from anywhere in the world. There is no delay in purchasing or selling your stocks because you have the autonomy in managing whatever portfolio you have. Anything else outside of that, you can just call. How do you get started with us at NCB Capital Markets? We can come to you as an advisor, or we have what is called Go IPO, which is also an online web portal. This online web portal facilitates you opening your accounts in real time. Documentation that you require: ID, TRN, proof of income, proof of address, and references. These references doesn't have to be written, or we prefer that you just put a contact name and number, and we at NCB Capital Markets will call these persons. The benefit of using Go IPO, guys, is that there's no need to visit the branch. There's no wait time. You open the account in real time and you begin to build your portfolios within 2 days of opening your account. Outside of that, you can open your account online and then you can speak to an advisor to give you guidance. So we are open to all aspects and any avenue that you want to go from. Guys, in conclusion, we engage in business, or when we invest, we are called on to be faithful and to do justly. Invest ethically and in a way that does not harm yourself or others. Proverbs 13 verse 11 states, dishonest money will dwindle away, but he that gathers money little by little makes it grow. Now that you have all heard what I've said and all has been said and done, here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. And this is taken from Ecclesiastes. I thank you so much for your time. I hope I didn't go over time. And now the floor is open for any question and answer that you may have. Thank you so much.